enlightenment. For me, enlightenment without light do not exist. For a very long time, very, very long time, thousands and thousands and thousands of years, the highest state of so-called consciousness, which for me is a bit complicated word. Consciousness is, it sounds very intellectual, yeah? And many people believe that consciousness is a intellectual activity, what is achieved only by special people. But consciousness is pure simplicity, is more simple than anything what a human can see. Any object, any thought, any form. And the name of this pure simplicity is space. Space. Okay? Because the thinking activity is nothing else, just a flow of thoughts into the inner space. A flow of thoughts into space. The space is always unchanged, never move. This word space is very misunderstood because you see the world of this fake science, they made the humans believe that space is outside, very much outside, approximately 100 kilometers away from this world. And we are not living into space. This body now is not into space, is in atmosphere. So that's why this word space is an alien stuff for the humanity. But the space, what is right now in my room, I don't call it atmosphere, that I'm in atmosphere. Yeah? I'm in the space. Atoms are present in this space. But the space itself is the platform where these atoms are moving. So space is everywhere. And what is heaven? The heaven as well is a huge mystery for humanity because they don't know the ingredients of the heaven. They don't know the composition of the heaven. The heaven, for the average human, it sounds like a mystery because it's unknown. In the heaven is a Holy Trinity. Space, the same space what is here above the earth, the same space is in heaven. Whatever far you go, even trillions and trillions and trillions of miles away from the earth, there is space. What is very different is the energy what is flowing in that space. So the number one ingredient of the heaven is space. Everything takes place in space. The number 2 is the I. That's why letter I represents the self. But the I, this letter I, stands for the self, and EYE, I, is the soul. Consciousness itself is an I. Because only thanks to the I can to witness whatever I witness. World of forms, thoughts, space. I witness thanks to this holy I. But this holy I, which is the attention, is awareness. Awareness and attention is exactly the same thing. It's not a thing because it's no form. It's an I who nobody can see it. It's made of space. Attention is made of space. That's why the soul is the highest mystery of the humanity, because can never be seen. But nobody can to deny that I have attention, he have attention, she has attention. Can anyone, whatever hard time is going through his life or her life, the attention is always, always, always permanent there. Because the soul is there. The attention and the soul is exactly the same. And the number 3 composition of the heaven is the light, the holy light. The light is the currency of the heaven, is the true currency of life. Light and life is one. Between light and life, between natural light and life, is absolute zero difference. So the composition of the heaven is space, I, and light. This is the Holy Trinity. Many, many souls are looking for enlightenment, especially in India, you see. Very spiritual place, they say, is more spiritual people there, more people aware of the existence of different gods. But about the heaven, there are very, very few spiritual masters, because to speak about the heaven, you have to experience heaven. You have to see the light. And the reason that not many people, very, very few, are speaking about the light is because they did not have the opportunity to see this holy light. Light is life. The soul is the Holy Eye, and the Vatican knows this. They name it the Holy See, S-E-E. And they were masters how to make humanity to avoid enlightenment. But of course is not the only one. You see, when they named Holy See, there are two Holy See, S-E-E and S-E-A. The Holy See, S-E-E, is the soul, and the Holy See, S-E-A, stands for the water. Because the mind is about the water. The moon is about the water. That's why the mind is the moon. The moon is magnetic. The magnets are the informations. Hydrogen from the water is magnetic. The oxygen is electric. The oxygen is very, very connected to the sun. The hydrogen is connected to the moon. Is magnetic, so is electromagnetic. The symbol of the hydrogen is H. That H stands for the magnet. Oxygen is about the fire. Is very connected to the sun. Between the sun and the oxygen is a very powerful relationship. That's why fire cannot exist in the absence of the oxygen. The sun is the soul, the main soul of this universe. Is the first entity of this universe. The sun is the king of light. The sun has the corona of light, the crown of light. The sun is the holy eye, E-Y-E, of this universe. From the heaven to this universe, no one's soul can to come without the Son of God. God is nothing else than heaven. For me, talking about God without heaven is a waste of time. For me, is no point to speak about God without heaven. Because God and heaven can never be separated. Once that we realize that our origin is heaven, that we are beings of heaven, then all what we have to do is to come back into the heaven. But there are different levels of heaven. That's why in this universe, many people will not believe me, but it's irrelevant for me, because they will understand it later. The space, what is here under the dome, under the firmament, is the most holy being. The space is the body of heaven. So the space is the body of God. And the one who can to give light, who can to work for the kingdom of light, is the eye who can radiate light. Light, light, light. For the light to expand, for the light to be present, for the light to radiate, all what it needs is space. It's very, very, very simple. For the light to expand, space, inner space has to be present for the light to radiate, to expand, exactly as the sun. The sun rays are taking place into the space. The entire plant kingdom, all the flowers around the world know this. They know this without to go to any university, without the need to come any teacher to say them, look, there is the source of light. This is the way you have to live if you want to be healthy, if you want to thrive. They don't need. They never ever lost the connection with the Son of God. The Son is the medium between heaven and this universe, between the space beyond the dome and this universe. The sun is the crown, is the crown of light. And any soul who can to come back to the King of Light can to experience heaven, freedom, light here under the dome. And when he's coming back to the sun, when he's working for the sun, he's working for this space. Wherever it is, the body, in the room, outside, wherever he's going, this body is irrelevant. There will be light. For the holy eye to radiate light is need the source of light. And the most wise way to live the life, to live this life in this body, the highest wisdom is to radiate light. Once that anyone understand this message, this enormous simplicity, how much need, how much desire remain to look for thoughts, to go and to beg from the mind to give me light. If the mind is a flow of water, of thoughts, how much desire remain here inside to look and to kneel down to the mind and to say, give me enlightenment. Because mind is flow of thoughts. And what I'm looking for is light. That's why Holy Rumi said, I was looking for God, and then when I find God, I found myself. He said, I was looking for God, and all what I find is myself. Because all what he finds is the I, this I who can never be, who can never die. It's impossible to die if it's formless. The attention itself is formless. The attention do not need to consume anything. Do not need to consume any single thought to realize that this I is about space and light. How much agitation can to be in me now if only this I is looking at the sun with closed physical eyes? That's why this is inner sun gazing. All what I have to do is to close my eyes, the physical eyes, and to visualize the sun. And once that I see the sun, I see light. And this light is radiating into my inner space. That's why I invite the sun to bless the moon, to bless my eye, and to bless the moon. The sun is saying, look, the entire plant kingdom knows who I am. And the way they live, this pure simplicity, they just look into my eye. And by simply looking into my eye, into me, they receive everything what they need. The water is their physical blood. The blood, the physical blood of the plants is water and is taken from the Mother Earth. That's why Mother is about water. Moon is about water. Earth is the blood of the earth is water. All the rivers and all the water from the world is the blood of this earth. You see in Buddhism and many ancient religions, many ancient spiritual teaching, the flower, the most respected flower, is the lotus flower. And Buddhism, they know that from the seed of the lotus flower, which is in the soil, mixed with water, which is mud, the flower come into existence when the plant is able to come out through the water into the space. That's why not only in Buddhism, but in many very important, very old spiritual teachings, the lotus flower is the best example of enlightenment. Why? Because they don't know yet. But the main reason is because it's coming out from the water. Is coming into space thanks to the King of Light. Thanks to the beautiful relationship, holy relationship between the Son of God and the eye, the awareness of the flower, of the plant, the awareness what is present in the plant. The flower recognize the sun as the main being of this universe, is kissing the King of Light, and like this is able to come out of the water. The water is the moon. Thoughts. All the thoughts are stored into the water. That's why all our thoughts is stored into the blood, into the physical blood. And in all the water what is in this body. But the holy light is taking it out from the water, from the mind, is free of thoughts. Saint Rumi said, beyond bad and good, there is a field. I will wait you there. Saint Rumi was one with the lotus flower. he discovered this space, this inner space, the freedom of this space, the real peace of the space, when the eye was free of the water. That's why they name it Bible. You can go into any church now and to ask any priest, why did you name Bible, this spiritual book, which many people are following around the world? Why is it named Bible? And they don't know. Bible is about bubble. Because this universe is in a bubble of water. The dome, the firmament is about water. And as long as the soul is not able to discover space, cannot to come out of the water, this is the death. The physical death is about the soul coming out of the body of a body of water and raising above the dome, thanks to the sun, thanks to the light, is going back into the heaven beyond the dome, beyond the bubble. You see why they name it Babylon? Babylon is about the bubble, how to keep the soul strapped into the water. And then you understand why the shape of the Mitra is a fish head. And then you will understand why the next astrological sign is about the Aquarius. What is the symbol of Aquarius? Is pouring out the water from the vessel. And what is remaining in the vessel when the water is out? You put it back on the table and is what? What is there? Space. But the space is empty from the matter, from the thoughts, in the presence of the holy light. Light, light, light. The huge battle is for the light. The huge battle of the kingdom of darkness, which is working with veils, with curtains. The kingdom of darkness has no power without the veils, without curtains. Every single veil is a thought. We are living the ego, the sinner, is living in a very limited space, surrounded always with veils. Veil, evil. The thoughts which are obstructing the relationship between the soul, the holy I, and the king of light are evil. You see, when for the first time these dark entities who are ruling the system, they rule the system, not the world. They are powerful to rule sinners. Sinners, egos, ego, entity. That's why they have no power over the clean souls. Because the clean souls are living in a space surrounded by light. Light, 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 forever light. The light is a currency, is a holy currency. All the free souls who are living under the dome, they know who is the true corona of light. They know who is the king of this universe. Jesus Christ said, I and the Father are one. The Son of God and the Son of God is one. Soul, sole. Soul, sole, sun, light, heaven. Heaven is about space filled with light. In this field, filled with light, the darkness has no power. This space filled with light is free of the veils, free of the evil. The ego is scared about the space. Is scared that will become non-existent. Because the moment that is space is quiet. Cannot to play his game of chatting, talking, playing the games of a corporation. Corpse, oration, oratorium, talking. The corporation disappear. Corpse, oration disappear. If you look into the business world, they say, look, if you do some mistakes, they say, look, you are fired. What I am? Fired. I am fired from the corporation. So, what is the end? How can I stop to work for a spiritual corporation? With the fire. The sun, the holy sun, is the holy fire, is the eye of the holy fire of this universe. So freedom, free of the corporation, is coming with the fire, light, 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 light. You see, if I want to put all the life of one single lost angel, which is incarnated in this world, because we are all angels here. We are all coming from heaven, all of us. What is separating us is the knowledge of the moon. What is in the moon? And once that you identify with the knowledge, you become an individual. Divided from who? From the Son of God. Once that you are divided from the Son of God, you are divided from the heaven. That's why humans do not have respect for light. The Master of Space is saying, how can you receive light if you don't want to look into the source of light? If you don't invite the sun into your moon, what kind of moon do you expect to be? A moon who rejects the light, who rejects the sun, is entering suffering. What you see in these many years All the wars, all the conflicts, all the tension is the result of a moon separated from the Son of God. A moon separated from the Son of God is a very poor moon. Is a very poor moon. And the soul who is living in a moon with very poor light is suffering. All the games of the black sun of Saturn is taking place in a dark moon. The master of space is saying, Maria, Maria, Marina, Marine is about water, is about the sea, sea, ocean, whatever you want to call it, is about the water. Holy Maria means holy water. The Queen, that's why you have Holy Maria. That's why the Son of God is coming. Christ had to come to a holy water, through a holy water. The Master of Space is saying, but there is two Maria, you see. Holy Maria and Maria Magdalena. They name it Magdalena because it's about the magnetic power. It's pointing to a magnetized water. And Maria Magdalena, until she discovered Christ, she was living in sins. When she discovered Christ, the Son of God saved her life thanks to the light. When Maria Magdalena washed the feet of Christ, then she got purified. Because the water in the presence of the holy light is purifying. You see, they say that Jesus Christ had 12 followers. but one of them betrayed him. So how many followers did he have? 11. One. And what is the powerful number? 11. New life. New life. New light. 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 Life. Light. Holy. Whole. Wall. To be a whole again, to be complete, you need to be a whole. You need to be space. And the mind, the moon, cannot to give you space. Is the duty of the soul, of the awareness, to bring space into the moon. Is the duty of the soul, of the holy eye, to bring light into the moon. The Master of Space is saying that whenever you ask for enlightenment, you are a beggar, correct? Because you are asking. Anyone, when you are asking, you are a beggar. But let's look into the word beggar. The beggar is a bag. Is a bag of many knowledge. And those knowledge become an obstacle. To look for the self, to look for the holy light in this bag of knowledge is a waste of time. To be a beggar to be a successful beggar, you have to beg light by the right eye of light. And the right eye is Ra. You see, the Master of Space is saying, you see the word looks. Lux in Latin means light. If you want to have a real luxury life, I invite you by the King of Light. And if you accept the invitation and you come and look into the eye, closed physical eyes, invite the King of Light, Ra, Sun, and look into his eye. And now you tell me how much light is missing from the King of Light. How much? Everything is light. The Master of Space is saying, when you look at the sun with closed physical eyes, you visualize and you invite the sun and you look into the eye of the sun. You exchange the currency of matter, the currency of thoughts, with light. And the most important thing what you will notice is that as long as the eye, the attention, the awareness is looking into the eye of the sun, you receive light. And as long as you see light, the currency of thoughts, of matter, become non-existent. This currency of light is the most powerful fasting. The mind do not digest anything. And enter a fasting state. Fasting with light. Is the most powerful fasting of all time. Will remove the time, the psychological time, and you enter the timeless, timeless present. You enter the presence of light. And like this, you become part You become part of a space in what the light can to radiate very, very, very much light.